Anushka, last year when Bombay Velvet tanked, you said it was very painful. You compared the feeling to a death in the family. How does success feel in comparison? The monster success of Sultan, for example.
I think with Bombay Velvet, the thing was that it was a first for me. And also it was a big
one.
Yeah. So I think it's not something that is common or comparable, like, like that way. But this obviously feels great. But I think the thing with me is, with success, I mean, it doesn't like make me like, yeah, like awesome.
Right.
For some reason, I just become really like calm. And I think that's just the way I've been. Like, I don't take like failures too seriously, and I don't take success too seriously. So I've been like that. So,
but it's hard not to be excited by everyone around you quoting the numbers, throwing these numbers, right? And these are massive numbers, right?
People actually.
Sure.
I just like to see how do people behave. Like, you see the way people talk to you, or like, or their reactions to things, and just, I mean, there's that observation is something that I enjoy.
Does success change things, or is it too soon to know? I mean, this kind of success.
Obviously, it changes things.
Right.
That's why we all want to be successful, because it changes things. I mean, it gets you. Like I said, I'm very grateful for the opportunity that my work obviously reaches a much larger audience because of the magnitude of a film like Sultan. It's watched by so many more people. So so obviously your work reaches everywhere, and you make a place in people's heart, and I feel like that's something, like, I kept thinking, like, have I had this experience before? Yeah, I mean, Band Baja Barat, there was a lot of love or whatever, but it wasn't like this much, right?
Right,
so
the
here
volume
it's
of
like,
the success.
Yeah, like here, if I'm going through my notifications, the kind of things people are saying, it's overwhelming. That someone can like you so much, love you so much because of a film that they've seen. So it's nice. I mean, I'm hearing things saying like, I wasn't a fan of yours before, but now I'm a huge fan. So I'm like, nice.
Now, your character in the film, Arfa, she's such a feisty young woman. She was the strong feminist chasing her dream of becoming a star wrestler at any cost. And then halfway through the film, she gives up on those dreams. Did that work for you, given how driven you are in your own career?
See, when I read the script, this part of the film was something that I questioned, and I didn't question the script, but I questioned myself. I thought, because that's not something that you think of, right? When you see something like this, is the first time that I thought, like, listen, hey, what if this actually happens? What if this happens to me? What would I do?
How would you react, right?
And I just want to say that, like how Arfa she's not a feminist like we know Twitter feminists to be like. She's not aware of the fact that she's a feminist.
Right.
It's circumstances that turn her into a bit of a rebel and turns her into thinking that, I don't like the way I'm getting treated and I want to do something about it, and this is my way, right? Similarly, circumstances make her take a decision. And I feel like at that moment, if it's about, yes, people are saying that, she decides to leave her dream, but she didn't leave her dream to get married. She's left her dream because she's gotten pregnant. So what is the option? To give up the child? Maybe that's a choice that she makes, that she does not want to give up her child. And perhaps once she had given birth to that kid, she would have gone back to it like sports athletes do, like Mary Kom did, like so many other athletes have. But just so happens that life is not it's that easy, and she loses her kid, so that changes her completely. So I think a lot of, not a lot of, the few people who are making these observations, I don't think that they're seeing something completely, and as an actor, you have to see it.
But it's something that you wrestled with when you read it?
I wrestled with it only because I had never thought about it. I never thought of a situation like this. Like how sometimes you read scripts and you feel like you've not seen it happen in someone's life and who you know, or your own life, and you think, and that gives you a kind of perspective, or you want to seek perspective because of something that you read in a script which you're doing. And then as an actor, you have to be very convinced about what you're doing. So I thought about it, and that's the time that I questioned myself actually. It was more so that, Anushka, if something like this happened to you, what would you do? Would you, and quite honestly, I think it's a personal choice, but I wouldn't like to give up a kid for something that I'm doing, because like I said, you can always go back to that. And having said that, she's a feisty girl and all of that because of the choices that she's made in life, and this was her choice. Nobody was forcing her to take this decision. It was her choice.
Anushka, you've said that acting comes naturally to you, and it's evident from the performances. There is a complete lack of inhibition, there is a comfort and an ease and a spontaneity on screen which makes it such a joy to watch you on screen. You know, I remember speaking to Alia Bhatt recently, another actress who's known for being very natural on screen, and she said, you know, she loves the camera and the camera loves her back. She says that she practiced in front of the mirror all through growing up, and that's why she has no fear she feels safe in front of the camera. What is it that makes you comfortable in front of the camera?
That's really sweet.
Yeah, I mean, where does your comfort come from? Where does that lack of inhibitions as far as you're concerned come from?
See, I actually have never stood in front of the in front of the mirror, and I think I was very uncomfortable in front of the camera. In the beginning, I was really uncomfortable. If I'm aware of the camera, it makes me uncomfortable. But I think over time, I started to get comfortable with it. I think what happens is, I think what Alia is also trying to say is, I think she wanted to be an actress till the time she was a kid or something, whereas I did not. So for me, it was not something that I was growing up with, you know, that thought wasn't in my head at all. So when it happened, it was all like, oh my God, this is like, what is this? And the first time you see yourself on screen, you're like, oh God, this is how I look, oh my God. Like, I was like flaunting my hair thinking, but you know, there's a bit of that shock. So I feel like with me, it's in the beginning of my career, I feel like there was so much, see, I have energy as a person, right? And I feel like in the beginning, I wasn't being able to channelize it that well as a performer, and today I can. So today I can be restrained, like I can control my energy, and I can, like, this much I want to give out in the scene or whatever. I'm able to control it better now, but that's happened over time. I've also realized that the biggest thing one needs to have as an actor, and I think that's what makes Alia such a phenomenal actress, is that she has no inhibitions. And you cannot have inhibitions as an actor. You know, you cannot have your own thoughts playing in your head when you're performing. You can't have your own, like, personal, like, bias or whatever prejudices, like, taking over. And I think that's something that I have had to work on. Because like I said, because it wasn't, it was not a natural thing for me. So I had to develop it. But I knew very, like I think right in the beginning, when Adi told me, when I was signed for Abne and Adi Jodi, he just told me, he's like, the reason I've taken you is because you are not affected.
That's true.
So I think that's the thing that I am as a person. Like, I'm not affected by large things. Like, I'm not like, oh my God. Like, I don't go on Sultan and think, oh my God, I'm on such a big film. And like, I'm not like that. I don't get affected by many things. Like, I'm literally like, this is also fine and that's also fine.
What's it like watching yourself on screen now?
You know, you can never really, like, be okay. I think the first time that you watch a film and you watch yourself on screen, you're only looking at yourself. Even if you're in the background soft focus, you're only looking at yourself. You're not even like, what's going on in the film? No idea.
It takes a second viewing for that.
Third.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, third. Second time, then you're like seeing.
But can you be objective now?
I think with Sultan I was able to be, like, as a story, like, I was able to be, Okay. Which happens, I think, dheere dheere you start getting detached from your work. I think when you're younger, there's a lot of, like, you. Right. And dheere dheere you are less of you.
Right, and you see the larger picture.
Yeah.
Now, Priyanka Chopra and Deepika Padukone are actively working in the West while also making sure that they have a career here in Bollywood. Is that something that interests you?
Working in the West? See, I've never really thought about it. I wouldn't say that I'm not going to work in the West, but it has to be something that like, I wouldn't do. So basically, what I'm not doing here, I'm not going to go and do it there. Right. So if I get this kind of work there, then I would. Sure. But I'm not going to do it just because I'm getting to, like, I'm working in a Hollywood setup. Right. Because as a person, I'm a really irritable person. If I'm not happy with what I'm doing, I can be a pain in the ass for everybody. So for me, it really has to be content driven. If I'm getting to do something differently, I really like what Priyanka had said in one of the interviews, where she said that I don't want to play a typical, Indian girl, or like how, like, a lot of Westerners know Indians as like Apu from Simpson is how they think, like, Indians talk. And when you travel abroad, they're like, oh my God, are you Indian really? Like, you speak such good English. Right. So yeah, of course, I wouldn't want to do cliches, right? So anything which is alag and which is representing us correctly.
Yeah.
And of course, as an actor that gives me some kind of challenge, I would do it. I also believe that nowadays, if you look at a lot of TV shows or films, there's a lot of good representation of Indian characters there.
True.
And it's done correctly, right?
Correct.
Like if you see Mindy
Yeah.
project
Yeah.
or something, or even like Asif Ansari, is it Asif or something?
Aziz Ansari.
Aziz Ansari,
Yeah,
sorry.
Master
Aziz
of None.
Ansari. Exactly.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
you know, and you're not seeing them as, hey, they're being Indian about things. They're like regular actors,
just
like
have-
how
yeah.
you see like maybe Chinese actors on you know, how we've seen them.
True.
But yeah, but that's not something that I'm actively working towards. But if something comes my way, like I said, if something meaningful comes my way, then I would, yeah.
Okay.
But I think like really hats off to the two girls to have done what they're doing. I think it's very difficult to be in a certain setup, then go there and be in a completely different place and own it. And I think they're both owning it, right? So I think that's hats off to them. That's awesome.
You said last year on the Actresses Roundtable that female actors are treated like second-class citizens in the film industry when compared to the male stars. You said it's not just an inequality of pay, but also in the way that actresses are treated compared to men. Now, Shah Rukh Khan, in an interview recently, pretty much corroborated what you said. He said, every actress works 3 times harder, gets paid 10 times lesser. As a producer now, what efforts do you make to change the way that things are?
I think firstly the thing is to see things the way they are and not let any kind of preconceived notions stream into the decisions that you're taking, right? So, I mean, I think it's too early for me to say what am I doing about it. I think the only thing that I can do about it is that I am taking up roles and we are producing films which are just telling stories, which is how I'd like to see our films, like, you know, like not about like...
You said that, you want to make movies like the ones you want to go and see.
Exactly, and like stories, like you don't want to be like a hero-centric
Projects.
females, and I don't want to see that. So I mean, we're trying to make that that kind of cinema, and I'm trying to like obviously do roles which are representing women, you know, correctly, or showing you know, like how women are today, how they think, how they are, and like basically, you know, just that can be the only contribution. And obviously, like, and staying away from roles that don't really add any value to you as an actor. You know, and you know, not using just your physicality, you know, which really bothers me. So I think that's how much one can do.
You've just wrapped your second production, Filori. It appears to be very different from your first film, NH10. Were you more confident as a producer the second time round? How was this experience producing a film different from the last one?
See, here everything was in like our hands, right? Because there was no co-production. This was with the studio, Fox, and we were completely like the line producers on the film completely. So yeah, I mean, it was amazing actually, quite honestly. It was really good. I think we were well planned. We had very little time to actually start the film because we just were going to go on the flow within like 2 months of, you know, getting our things together. And we were just really well planned. And I think the setup was really good. The people that we put together, it would be impossible to make it without those guys. And I think you understand that a lot more when you are producing a film, right? You can work with a great amount of people when you're an actor, but it's only when you see them actually right from the beginning, when they become part of your film, you realize what a collaborative process filmmaking is. It's not a one-man show, and it can never be. While it might appear to be, however, but that's not how it is. So I think I think it's been a wonderful experience, and I know that we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to learn from them, and that's the way forward, because we're not industry kids, my brother and me, like we come from a non-industry, you know, and I think that somewhere helps us also, because we don't come with any, we don't have any setup things, anything set up in our head.
But is it hard being an actor and being a producer on the same unit?
Oh yeah, see, honestly, if I didn't have my brother, I wouldn't have been able to do this. It's impossible.
He handles day to day.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's not possible.
So where do you bring your strength?
See, I think for me, I would say that I'm good with the creative you know, aspect of it. Like that is something that I can take interest in. I think obviously to be every day in the office and like going to each and every meeting is just not possible. But I think the beauty of it is that it is my brother, and I think me and my brother are people who have always had similar reactions to the films that we've seen. We like the same things. We are very similar minded people. So I think that's something that it's never like we're ever disagreeing on something. Very rarely do we disagree on something. at least on the creative, bit of it. So I think that's a good thing. We listen to each other. I know everything that's happening, but I can't possibly be
involved in every single thing physically.
Everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You go off to shoot Imtiaz Ali's new film with Shah Rukh Khan soon. It's no secret that you turned down Imtiaz's Tamasha because you felt it was essentially the male protagonist's story. Now, given the praise that Deepika got for that performance, do you feel in retrospect that you perhaps misjudged the script?
I've not seen the film.
Okay.
And I had no doubt that if I did that film, I would not be praised. I never doubted that at all. But I feel like at that time in my life, I did not feel. See, for me, doing a film is like these months in your life.
Correct.
And Imtiaz Ali is a very special person in my life.
Sure.
Because I think the first time I wanted to be an actress ever was after I saw Jab We Met.
Okay.
So for me, it was basically about, when I'm doing a film with you, it has to be like a glorious experience. And I told him that. That's the reason why, in fact, I told him. I said, if I'm doing a film with you, it has to be that film that you are the person that made me think about, hey, this is interesting. When I saw Geet, when I saw Kareena in that film, I said, wow, this is nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I could do this.
Sure.
Right? So for me, I think it's a much bigger thing than just like, hey, role kitna hai ya jo bhi hai. And I had no doubt, let me tell you once again, I had no doubt that if I did the film, I would be praised for what I'm doing, because any actor in Imtiaz Ali films, anybody, will always be good because he's a very good director and he's very good with actors.
Right.
Like even now when I'm doing readings with him for the film, I see that. I see how deeply he goes into the character with you. And I think I'm having a great time right now. So I mean, it's all good, man. I'm doing a film with him right now, which I'm happy doing. And I guess that's what I was hoping and looking for.
You worked with all three Khans, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan and Amir Khan. They really are enduring superstars. What do you think it is about them that makes them popular and relevant even in their 50s and even after they've completed 25 years in their career?
I think it's the time at which that they got their stardom. It's a much different time from today. I think today actors are way more accessible than they were at the time.
True.
I think it was about watching films in a theatre. There was no piracy, nothing was digital. So everything was like, going to the theatres and watching. So they were like the stars you're seeing on screen. So there was that mystery around them. There was that enigma around them, which I think is getting lost now.
Yeah.
Because of the world that we're living in. I think it's happening everywhere. But that is when people love them. I mean, for us, I mean, they're a part of our childhood.
Yeah.
We have grown up seeing their films.
True.
Guys have gone and proposed girls looking at what Shah Rukh has done. Boys have like cut like their hair like Salman Khan in Tere Naam. So I mean, this has been like their life. Like they've been part of their life. So I think that is what makes it what it is. What it is today. I think today also the kind of films that we're doing, they are very like more in the realistic space, and we are trying to be like like our audience. Like we're trying to be those. That time it was all aspirational. It was like they created things. Right? So I guess that's one of the reasons, apart from the fact that, I mean, they are their personalities. I mean, if you walk into a room and you're talking to any one of these people, they're not regular, right? You get that bigness of their presence.
Yeah. So then, are they the last Bollywood superstars?
I believe that I don't know if there's going to be that kind of stardom anymore, simply because of the times that we're living in right now. I mean, you have YouTube stars, you have like Twitter stars, and you have there's so many so that is how it is. And I
celebrity
think
comes cheap now a little bit.
I mean, that's more accessible. I mean, I wouldn't like to say that because that makes me feel like weird about
it.
But yes, it is. I mean, we're going on every show when you're promoting a film. We are like, so they're so much more accessible, right? So I think that I'm sure that makes a difference.
Do you often get asked who's your favorite of the three?
Yeah. Which is annoying.
I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
Awkward question.
So I hope you're not going to ask me
no.
that. Okay, thanks.
Now, the menace of online trolling is one that's driven away so many people from social media. You meet people, and I'm sure you do too. You meet actors who say, I don't want to wake up every morning to abuse. I don't want to allow such negativity to enter my life. You actually dealt with online trolling in a way that you managed to keep your dignity intact. They trolled you for your appearance, they trolled you for your boyfriend's performance on the cricket pitch. Where did you find the strength? And were you able, or are you able now to even have a sense of humor about it?
Yeah, I mean, see, in the beginning when it happened, obviously I was a bit hurt about it because it was new and I did not know what was going on, and you take it very personally because it seems personal, right? But the thing is that the way I handle my social media, like I am not somebody who's wishing everybody on their birthdays.
Right.
Okay, I'm not sitting and talking about every film that I've seen, and I keep it that way. So I decide how I want to.
How invested you want to be, right?
And I'm not liable to anybody. I want to make that very clear, and that's something that I do. So nobody can, what is this? Today's this some Jayanti, and you've not,
correct,
wished. So yeah, I might not remember, and I'm not going to be like, it's not going to be a burden on me, right? So I think firstly that is so I don't give it so much seriousness in my life.
Right.
So when something comes from there, whether it's praise or it's like the kind of, the trolling that I received, I don't take it that seriously anymore. Also, I realize that see, why are these people saying that? Would I say this to somebody? I probably wouldn't, because I would know that it's hurtful and it's not in good taste. But I think people do that because the level of evolution is not enough, and I think it's very it kind of is self gratifying when you're able to put somebody else down and have absolutely no repercussions for your actions, right? So I think it's just something that you need to understand. You need to understand what it is. Like, why is it that people troll you? Why is it that they're being mean to you? Because you're a soft target. Like, you can easily be attacked like that. And if you think about it, they usually do it to women more than they do it to men.
True.
Right? Because I think if there are a lot of chauvinistic men on Twitter, they cannot accept that there's this girl who is a woman, who is successful, who is famous, who is rich, and like, what? Like, how do I let her know what I think about this? So I'm just going to be mean. So who's been trolled? Alia's been trolled.
Yeah.
For what? For people thinking that she's dumb. She's probably one of the most intelligent people in this industry.
True.
Right? Sonakshi's been trolled. So a lot of women, get trolled more. I'm not saying that the men don't, but women a little bit more, because I think they feel like it's easier to do that. And also I think that it's a reflection of who people are. So I think once you start seeing it like that, which is the only way, you have to be rational about things, and I'm very rational about things.
Being trolled for Virat's performance on the field, do you feel like that was a fallout of going public with your relationship? Did you regret that?
Oh, no. That was not the reason. I think the reason was very simple. The reason was that when I was open about my life, it was because that's who I am as a person. I'm very forthright, and I'm very open, and this is because I have nothing to hide. And I've led my life like that. It's very difficult to hide things and lead your life that way. And I like to keep things simple. But I realized that people don't have the maturity to deal with an actor being open about their personal life. Because I think even today, they will behave like just kids, like high school children, like, oh my God, we saw them.
That's right.
Oh my God, they were standing.
Correct.
And that becomes like some big news that two people were standing somewhere. So I think it's like stupid things which become like big stories, and you feel like, are you serious? Like, this is what you really want to be spending like your time writing? And it makes you feel like, and also you want to be spoken about your work. And I know a lot of the actors have said that. They say that we don't talk about our lives because it takes attention away from your work.
So then, have you had to conduct that part of your life differently since perhaps the trolling, because you want to put the focus back on the work?
No, I'm still going to lead my life exactly the way I want to. I'm not going to suddenly decide how many times am I going to be seen here and there because what are the because of the of what's going to happen afterwards. I'm not ever going to do that. I've never done that. But yes, I think speaking about it in any way is not going to happen anymore.
Sure.
And that's something, because no matter what, even if I'm having a huge conversation with you for 17,000 hours, at the end of it, and we've spoken about everything from the starting of how time started and till now, the headline is going to be something about my relationship. So I think it just reduces things to something that that's not really it's a part of your life, but that's not what you want. That's not the only part of your life. I mean, you are an actor first, and your work comes first. And I at that time was probably doing some of the biggest things in my life.
True.
When this was happening. So I was like, people don't have the maturity to deal with it. They're very childish about it. So they don't deserve that courtesy.
Correct. Now, your next release is going to be Ae Dil Hai Mushkil, which is Karan Johar's film, in which you star with Ranbir Kapoor. What's that experience been like? What's that film like? What can we expect?
See, I think with Karan's films you can expect a lot of good humor, emotions, and I think see, for any of us, grown up in the 90s, early 2000s, Karan is like a he's Karan Johar, man. And sometimes it's like I really have to. There are certain things that I feel very. Like the other day, I danced with Salman on a show on Pehla Pehla Pyar Hai. Just after it got over, I was like, oh my god, man, this is Hum Aapke Kaun.
Correct.
This is the film that I've like tortured my entire family to keep going, like seeing again and again in theatre. So sometimes you have to really like pinch yourself, and with Karan it is that Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, I've recited the dialogues like a mad person, and now I'm doing his film, so it was like a big deal for me, right? And also then Karan Johar being the person who was trying to sabotage my career, by making sure that Adi does not sign me in Rab Ne Bana Di Jodi. I was like, look, I've reached your set.
That's true. That's kind of the perfect revenge, right? I mean, he was the one who told Adi, no, she's not good.
But he was nice about at least like openly
admitting
to it. But it has been great. I mean, I think Karan, he's very emotional as a person. He's very sensitive as a person, So you that is what comes out in his films. And his female characters are always very strong.
That's right.
So I'm very happy with the role that I'm playing and my whole entire experience. And Ranbir. I mean, he's a buddy, and it's great. Like just doing a film with him, which is lighter and hopefully like people are going to forget our
last
act together.
Well, thank you so much, and looking forward to lots more.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.